So, welcome to the Mantic Universe podcast for another Kings of War episode. And today I'm here with Aaron
Hola, hi, what's going on?
and Henry
Hello.
from Miniworx. And well, it's a first timer to have them here on the podcast now that we also got Matt from Miniworx in there. And so, Aaron, tell us a little bit
Yes,
about you.
sure thing. Hi, I'm Aaron. I am one of Matt's friends who he said, "Hey, let's record and have fun with some of these Mantic games." And I'm also a Mantic Pathfinder in the St. Louis, Missouri region of the United States. And I've been a gamer for a really long time, but not a war gamer for a really long time. And I think we started in 2018, something like that. Yeah, and then I think we jumped into Kings of War just before fourth edition officially. Like I might have had a little army or whatever because of it as Mantic Pathfinder just to do some demos, but I think we played maybe 6 months of third edition, and then fourth edition came up. So I would consider myself a relatively new Kings of War player.
Yeah, so good. So,
How
Henry,
about you, bud?
about you?
Yeah, like he said, we got into wargaming in about 2018. I got into Kings about 6 months before he did. I jumped about 2 Adepticons ago, but we didn't play a whole lot, especially not at the competitive scene, until fourth edition came around. I played in a tournament down in Kansas City, Missouri, and that was about it for competitive. But I had been playing a little bit more at the casual level, and then I work over with Matt and my dad and some of the other guys at Miniworx, filming videos and stuff. And yeah,
Yeah,
It's been fun. It's been really cool.
it's been fun. Yeah, I mean it's so Kings of War is not your first war game, as to speak, but how do you guys feel about Kings of War compared to the other experience yet? I mean, you jumped in right before the pandemic to start wargaming, which is an odd
Right.
choice.
Yeah, there's
It's
that part too. Yeah. Go ahead, bud.
I like it a lot better. I think I've always been. So we jumped in actually with 40K first was
yeah,
our first major war
Uh,
game.
Even before that, Underworld.
I said major war game,
Oh,
sir.
major war game. My bad. My
yeah,
bad.
it's
Underworlds is half board game, half war game. But
yeah,
our first major war game was 40K, and it was. I think I've always wanted a more fantasy style game. I've always been more interested into fantasy.
mm,
So we actually jumped into Sigmar, and I think I like this a lot more than Age of Sigmar. I definitely, I think it's especially with the fourth, it's come along. It's new player friendly. It's casual player
mm,
friendly. It also has that competitive gaming, and I really like the community. I mean, that's mostly what sold me on
Yeah.
Kings was the game was
yeah,
pretty good, but the community made it 10 times better. And once I saw that about a couple years ago at Adepticon, and got to actually watch a bunch of people, I got to help out with the big game. I got to help teach that after I learned it, and after that, it was just I was off, and I really like it now a whole lot better, if nothing else, but for the community.
that's great to hear.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I'm gonna echo that. Actually, the community. This community is friggin' amazing. These guys. I mean, so here is a putting money where your mouth is about this community. He said, "Hey, I really like this game. I'd like to go ahead and play it competitively. All my vacation days, all my PTO days are pretty much being taken up traveling around the United States, going to tournaments with him. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm not gonna. He's eventually he will be in college and gone, but for a little bit
yeah,
here, I get to travel with my son and my wife. Actually, she loves playing it too, and
oh, that's
we all go to tournaments. So yeah, the from as far as from previous other experiences, Underworld was probably the one I was the most serious about.
yeah,
And we used to play in tournaments and everything. I enjoyed playing with a lot of those people. It was fantastic, but you get to Adepticon and you walk into a tournament there, and it is not fun. It was not fun. We had some of our
yeah,
local St. Louis people go there, and they were just, yeah, I walked away round one kind of stuff. I paid money and I still walked away. this is such a welcoming thing, even at the,
Mm.
especially actually at the competitive level. Like, hear me out, everybody. If you're new to Kings of War, go to a tournament. It will be absolutely fun. It doesn't matter if you win or lose on this one, because it's going to be, you're going to hang out with some great people. You're going to have some wonderful
Yeah.
games, and usually hang out afterwards and playing, I don't know, flip seven or something, and you just get these bonds. I have no doubt my wife, who travels, can go anywhere in Nebraska after playing in a Nebraska tournament, and if her car breaks down, she has 5 people she can call, and those guys will be right there to help her, because we all went and played tournaments and hung out with them. It is that cool of a community.
Mm. I tend to talk for Kings of War not about tournaments but events, because I have the feeling we are a lot less competitive and much more casual. Even if it's a competitive event, it's still. I haven't had a bad game in any tournament I went with Kings of War, and it's like it's also the how to say the hobby level is very different on other games I have played with. Like you have seen unpainted armies when really someone is coming but he hasn't had time to finish things. But even those unpainted armies look amazing because they like to start doing this diorama things. There's hardly any improvised things that I've seen, and not something where someone comes with all gray where you can't identify units and things look straight out of the box. And that's not something I have seen it a lot at Kings of War. So it's always this
Well,
comes all
and
together in those kinds of things. So the competitive scene is still a lot more casual than with other games, I would say, and this makes it a great feeling. So if someone hesitates to go to events or says there's no one playing in my region, but they still want to, you can always go to just play on events. I have met a lot of people who do this. Like there's how's the downside to playing twice a year, but therefore 6 game or 12 games in some
right.
when you go to a 2-day event twice a year, it's still more than other people's play when they play once a week or something like this.
Yeah,
And
you're absolutely right.
yeah,
And I want to echo. You just remind me of something. Of the you asked the differences between this and other experiences. The artistic difference of doing a diorama, way different way of thinking of how to paint.
yeah,
Which I enjoy. It is a challenge that I finally embraced and went, oh, this is fun. Instead of a little round circle dude, I now have a rectangle to work with, and I can create a whole scene. So sorry, I just
no,
you,
it's
you pinged it in the dinosaur brain, man.
yeah. So it's out of concept. No, I think we are going to have a nice little chat, dear listener, today, just about our experience and what we think about the current state of 4th edition, how to progress went, and our hobby times. So I hope you enjoy those quick ones. So if we are, how I say, wandering off a little bit, please excuse, and we try to keep on track. So right,
You
no,
know,
I
it's nice
think
if you think we're going to keep on track. Good job. Good job.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. If you guys watch Miniworx, we're
Yeah.
hanging out in a treehouse, guys.
Yeah. It's always a bit tricky, and it's like we are recording this on a Sunday for me right after lunch, and the guys are doing this in the morning because time zones are a thing, and so it's we get over it, right?
That's
So I think one how to say this diorama aspect when going back to the hobby thing, it's also something that is underrated on how easy it is to play or how less you have to paint with Kings of War, because as soon as you don't need to have your 20 models per regiment to paint up in details, even if it's a rank and file game with a lot of models, it gets easier if there are just 10 to 15 models, if you can spread out, if you can hide mistakes with basing material, just like you don't need to paint proper boots if the grass is high enough and things like that.
yes. It's almost like cheating,
Yeah.
unless of course somebody's painting goblins. I don't know why you hate yourself.
Well, I don't. It's fine. I made it work with a lot of basing,
Yeah.
lots of basing, and not a lot of models. So,
I mean, I
but
I have to say there is this very old school style of painting for regiments that I learned from a historical gamer. And the saying is in German, but the idea was, because this was at the time when all those zenithal priming and stuff and airbrushing thing came up, and he was still old school, and he's just said always, my personal color theory is I prime everything black, and everything when the models are built on the base. So prime the models black, put them on the base, and then start painting, and everything the brush cannot reach stays black and is in shadow. And that works surprisingly well with regiments.
So okay, how many people are you putting on like I guess what's your latest army, and how many people are you putting on like a regiment base? Just kind of talking about that technique.
I struggle. No, because my latest army are Abyss, and I'm working with the larger models, so I haven't put the infantry yet. But I think the Tortured Souls, I came up with 21 or 22 models on a regiment, instead of the 18 they're supposed to go there, so I make things a little bit more dense with those. But on the other hand, I only have 2 berserkers on a troop base, so this evens it out.
Hold on. Oh, 22 guys on your brush isn't touching anything. What are you doing?
It's like, so I'm glad I have an airbrush for priming in that case, but it's like, this is like, but Tortured Souls, because when I look on the promo pictures, they're mostly like black bodies with some flames on there, some details, the glowing eyes. So these are a unit that works. When you put just a little bit more on the base than there should be there, then you have this dense formation, make mostly black and have some outstanding details, and then those things work. You make your life easier that way when you use. It's the strange thinking that you make your life easier when you put more models on the base and not less. So, but this is like on how you do painting. So I can imagine when you have goblins and put just a really dense blob on that one, it's much less to paint when everything is already on the regiment. But when you only have 15 on there, you need to paint them on their own and then put it on the base just to get, because then you can see like everything.
Yeah, here's your tip, man. Put them on the base and just squirt green from Army Painter on it, and then just move it around with your brush. There you go. You're good. You're good.
No.
Okay.
I've already painted the goblins, so we're good.
Yeah, see, the Goblins player always struggle because it's like there's too much green. You have fatigue on painting the same color over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. You're a recent Goblin player.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I just started. My first army has been EOD, so
yeah,
it's been a struggle in 4th, but it's been fun. Just not successful, but still. It's still a fun army to play.
I mean, you need a hobby project. That's the one thing. How to frame this one? It's when you have you want an army to play, but you also want a hobby to do. When you like the painting and modeling. So I most of the time have 2 armies somewhere. So one that is finished and ready to play, that I use when I want to play games, and one where I'm just working on it all the time because it never finished. And
so the forces of the Abyss have driven him mad.
Yeah, always. It's like the trend goes to the 7th or 10th army, so it's like when you grow older, there's a collection coming up. So.
I love it.
Yeah, but this is also something that I really like about Kings of War, is when you don't play a lot, the rules are always easy enough to just get into right away. So once you learn them and just play like once a year, you're still good to go know all the rules, no big changes on things like that. It works. Just put stuff on the table and play. It's not with, as I said, other games where you need to keep playing to be inside
Yes.
those more like lifestyle games. If you miss out a season or the stop in the wrong month, you are out of the loop and start from scratch again. This is
I actually find a lot of the Mantic games are that way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are. Oh yeah, that's easy to pick back up. I mean, Halo, Dead Zone's my favorite Mantic game. No offense to Kings, but it is. And Halo is basically Dead Zone with 4 Spectras running around on the battlefield. But I mean, that one's an easy one to remember, and I always enjoy playing it. And I forgot this one little minuscule rule. It's not a big deal. Kings is like that too. I mean, just even yesterday we were up at the store, and who all was playing? Was it Rob and Caleb, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
two newer players
Yeah.
were up there, and so
and they were able to they I mean, maybe their second, third game, fourth game, something like that, and they were able to run it with, I think I only got 5 questions the entire time, and I mean, that says something. But brand new players are able to just run, play, and it was a 1,200 point game. They had a blast, it's really good. Kings does very, very well in all Mantic games, I would probably say, with the exception of Vanguard. Let's not talk about that one. I think they all do very, very
I
well.
liked it, but I'm different. This is
Well, it's way more crunchy. It's way more
Yeah.
crunchy. It was yeah. But for the most part, Kings, Dead Zone, Halo, even Firefight, really, really easy to get back into. You don't have to be playing it every single week.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. It's so you guys, how to say that you started late third edition. How much was the edition shock for you when you said, so this is third, this is fourth?
it was actually quite nice. I don't know. For us, it wasn't a huge change because I mean he had just barely gotten maybe 10 games in. I was probably at most my like 21st ish game around there when it came out, and so we hadn't quite really gotten third rules down. So when it was time for fourth, there were some changes that were like, okay, that's nice. The double pivots on your move, although at that time EOD doesn't benefit from that, so I didn't really care. But for everybody else, it's a pretty nice rule.
Yeah.
And some of the things that I felt it streamlined more. I had a really bad experience in terms of army against a shooting elf list at the end of third, so I was kind of glad they nerfed that because that was a rough game to play. And so I think we were new enough that it didn't upheave all of our previous knowledge because we didn't have a whole lot from third. And so I definitely think it was nice because we were the newer players, we were the more casual, and it definitely seemed that fourth is geared towards the newer players, the casual players. It still offers great fun for the quote unquote competitive players, but it was definitely, it looked like geared to streamline rules to get people in the door and to just get people playing casual games at your local game store. And then if they wanted to take it to that competitive level, they can do that on their own. But so it was pretty nice, all in all.
And we also had Matt at Miniworx. He started his channel pretty much playing Kings War Champions, and so that actually helped a lot. Just having 4, maybe 5 if you're playing halflings units running around on the battlefield, playing a quick 45-minute game. That was incredibly helpful, bridging any gaps. I mean, there's still some differences between the two, but there is, Kings of War Champions has a little bit of third and a little bit of fourth in it, and it's and I really like it. Like, I mean, it helped get used to double pivots. It helped get used to some of the new rules about can you see them, can you not, and line of sight rules just by playing some champions game. And then when you go ahead and jump into full Kings of War, even at 1,000 points, we highly recommended, by the way. That you then go, oh, I remember the basics of this. Yeah, the Pathfinder rules different, but for the most part, this is an easy
Yeah.
transition. So I actually think Champions was a helpful bridge as well. But I agree. I mean, we didn't have a lot of games under our belt, but
Mm.
me who's trying to understand rules and trying to grok it, I didn't have to do a complete mind wipe when we as we jumped into Champions and then uh, into full Kings. And now I have the problem of, am I playing Champions or full Kings, and I have to remember which which way certain things go.
Yeah, this is a. I mean, it's with champions. There's the being a little bit different has an advantage of being a standalone game. So
Yes.
they can really tune that into being that small game to work on the. Let's say skirmish level sounds weird, but it's on that thing, because otherwise it would be, how to say, tricky to adjust rules for champions without breaking the big game in that sense. So you can get a little bit weird with the small game because it's independent
Yeah.
and don't need to be in line. On the other hand, you are playing two games, two different set of rules to remember and things like that. So this is
Yeah. They share a lot of the same DNA. I mean, like one of the
yeah,
big changes I have to remember, but then if I put my game designer hat on, it makes total sense, is attacking in the rear. In Kings of War, you get triple the dice. In Kings of War
mm,
Champions, it's double with a modifier. And that totally makes sense because you only have 4 units. So you lose one, that is 25% of your army gone. That is
yeah,
huge in Kings of War Champions. You may not win that game. Whoever strikes first sometimes will have a overwhelming advantage.
yeah. And then in Kings of War, you have a lot more units, so much easier to protect your rear. So therefore, it's much more rewarding if you do so and things. So
Yes.
it works out that way. So this is like there's no
Yeah.
it's still a big advantage for the games, I think, when they stay separate. So and it's then uh, and how do you feel about the overall upgrade? I have to say, because you start fresh. I am there since second edition, so for me,
Okay.
but early second, I have to say, because it was right about end of first edition and start with second edition where I start. So I don't remember a lot from first edition, but it was already around for me. So for me, everything feels a little bit different when I say, yeah, third to fourth edition is not different than second to third for me. So I have seen this all, I have experienced this all. There's always this first half a year on struggle to get things done, to find back into the game, and also depending on the season when it is released, because right around Christmas is always say different than when it's in summer break and things like that. So it's so how do you feel this? Is this straight upgrade path with the campaign books also, or you see is Kings of War changing too much, too fast, or just the right way uh, in this regard? So how is your feeling?
Um, I like the as you said, the upgrades with that the books have when they come out. I think they I think if you look at it from a competitive style, they might come out a little too slow for some armies, because if you're looking,
Mm,
it's based off of the timeline they gave us. I think somebody meant that it's like 2.5 years for all the books to come out, which I mean means that whoever's in the last book is gonna have to wait a long time to get their full upgrade. But I
yeah,
definitely do think, especially what we saw with the fracture of the everybody else getting slight changes and then the four armies getting the main changes. If they continue doing that, I think if you look at it from a purely competitive perspective, I think that helps everybody keep somewhat close in terms of competitive. Um,
mm,
like in terms of like a tier list, they're
yeah,
mostly are all pretty close, and then you have sadly like the EOD is an outlier. They're still struggling, but they're still trying to make them better. They're
Monolith.
listening.
Monolith.
Yeah, but it I think I think with what they've done with Fracture of baby upgrades for everybody and then big upgrades for the four, I think that's great. And I think from a casual perspective, it's right where you want it to be. You got just enough time to learn the changes to all the armies, and then you've got enough time to play enough games against them or with them if your army's in the book. And then you're like, alrighty, well, now that I've gotten used to this, what's next? And then next is here at that point.
Yeah.
So I think either way you look at it, it's they're pretty spot on with what they've done and when they're doing it in terms of both the books. And I think if they just continue what they're doing, and hopefully, I mean, they sent out that community survey. It's been closed obviously by now, but I think if they listen and take some of that in the next couple of books, I think it's going to be awesome. And I think we're going to see a lot of the armies stay right around that similar level, and it'll be a pretty balanced game as far as it goes all the way until hopefully the last book, and then everything is balanced out, and I don't know what happens after that.
Well, yeah, I think arrogance is really going to be, which is the third book, right? Invasion, Fracture, Arrogance comes out
Yeah.
at the end of this year. I think arrogance is going to be really, really telling because that's probably the first book where they have some data. They have listened to the community with their community survey. I think it's the first one that they're getting to write now that this is live because Fracture had to be. I mean, just thinking of lead times for books, that thing had to be mostly, if not 99% done by the time Invasion came out. So arrogance is going to be a really good telling of, all right, how much are you going to make some changes? I'm really glad that they kind of rushed at the last minute. I think the update chapter into Fracture. I mean, kudos to them. I know that there's probably some FAQs that they were going to do anyhow, but giving two command orders, which it's okay to everybody. That was good, but also going through and giving some changes to command orders or new command orders, or telling Thonar, yeah, sorry, buddy, you're no longer going to green rage the world. Things like that. I think was a good little, hey, we're trying. And I think arrogance is going to be really telling. I kind of go back to because there's a couple ways they could have done this. So one of the ways that could have been done was similar to, I think it was 8th edition 40K, where they had indices or index books that came out, and every single army had every single stat day one. And there's a possible tendency of the game is solved when you have all the data. And then Games Workshop does what Games Workshop does and puts out a codex, and that army kind of has a little bit of codex creep. And hey, these guys are really, really good in the next tournament. Now these guys are really, really good in the next tournament because they had the new book. So I'm glad that they didn't do the index trick. I'm really okay with 4 armies, not just one, getting a little bit of love, but also, as we saw in Fracture, everybody gets just a little bit better. And you just flesh it out as we go along. And I think things like the Zerkali, I think the Zerkali are not done as far as models that are going to come in, because lore wise, the invasion is not done. So we're going to be seeing, every once in a while, here's a little blip, and maybe a new guy, and maybe a new command order with these books. I am okay with the pace of it, and even at the competitive level. The 4 armies that were in Invasion were not the top armies at Masters. There was Salamanders that were sitting there, but those 4 were not the ones to beat for everybody. And I think now that Fracture's here, I don't think Ogres, Basilians, Forces of the Abyss, and Forces of Nature are going to be awesome just because they're in the book. I think Forces of Nature will be awesome just because they're awesome. But and I'm sorry about this. But I think, but I don't think that we're going to see the codex creep fear. I think they've been relatively balanced with it, and I mean, whoever's in the death book will get the last laugh, maybe. But I think it'll be just more fleshing out that army more than making them awesomer.
The interesting point is that we don't know what armies are in which book. So it's really, yeah, I mean, the name suggests things that may or may not happen. And so arrogance could be a big surprise or not, depending on what people expect. I mean, this is always a tricky thing when people have high expectations and then something very different happens, and then everyone is like, yeah, it's good, but not for me, and things like that. So that this gets in there. But yeah, the base of army upgrades, I think I have seen a lot of people being in a, how to say, expectations that the first four armies are being on a very different power level than everyone else, because this is like how things work with other games, that whoever got their own book and full model release is getting to be better than everyone else. And then people were kind of disappointed that it didn't happen, because they expect now I start a new army and be at the top player with it, and then it's like not the case. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I'm okay with not having to start a new army just because a new book comes out. I mean,
Yeah.
halflings were an invasion. I think they've been maybe a little bit nerfed with some of the brutal stuff and fracture and things of that nature.
Mm.
But it's okay that they're not one of the top armies. They're still really, really fun to see on the field and play with. We had two players yesterday at the game store playing halfling armies. Why? Because they really like it, and I think they
Both won.
yeah, they both won. That's right. Because yeah. So I mean, and it's sometimes it's all about the toys that you already have too. And I think that's maybe
Yeah.
some of the feel bad feelings from any edition is, what do you mean I can't do this anymore because this is no longer a unit that is legit or is no longer core or
Mm.
something like that. So
I mean, I have played a lot of different games through various editions that I have no real negative feelings with the changes in Kings of War. Like everything happens as a usually improvement or a simple change to fit in a new framework. And I haven't had really a unit when I say, okay, I need to put that on the shelf and never play that again. It's if
yeah,
this happens, then only if I change my lists because I want to play something else. It's like I'm not the guy who has a 2000 point list there, no other models in addition. I've usually, when I start painting, I came up with about, I mean, it happens. You aim for 2000 points. This is the list I want to play. Then you start playing, you start painting, you change things around, and then you end up with 2000 points lists.
yes, or 6,000 points of skeletons running around the house. Yeah,
Yeah, it's. But then you have often to choose from. So if something is on the shelf, and you do not use it, it's because you don't feel that way, and not because you want to use it, but you can not do it. It's a little bit different of that kind of feeling. And you guys think so? I have had a fracture event already with the new changes implemented. You guys went to masters, so you haven't had fracture events played. Let's say how does it how does your overall experience with tournaments is now with the upgrade? So do you have bad experience and now glad that fracture solved that one, or feels it just always there was, how did this goes?
I mean, I like to punish myself by playing EOD, so you could say that all of my experiences have been bad, but that's on me, not on my opponent's armies. I mean, there hasn't been. I mean, I've come away with a win at every tournament I've played EOD at, which I consider pretty okay. But I haven't. There hasn't been an army that I've looked at and been like, man, I can't wait for their book to come out. That way they get nerfed. Um, I've watched them and I was like, so Ratkin were kind of top of my list. I'm like, okay, pre-fracture, these guys were pretty. They were pretty dangerous. I never wanted to play against them because they knew they would eat me alive. And the command order change and some of the keyword changes, I think, did help that with fracture. But there wasn't an army that I'm like, I can't wait for them to just absolutely get nerfed to high heaven because they're a terrible army to play against regardless.
Mm.
I think even if they don't have their book, or even if they have already had their book, the armies that are even sitting closer to the top are all really close, and it most of the time it's come down to dice and the player who I'm playing against, and that's really what's decided it over armies. So I can't really say that I've had an experience where I'm like, this needs to be nerfed. There's no other way. I mean, Thonar was a problem. He's been nerfed, but even him, I'm like, I could have beat this, but it was the combination of my opponent had the Thonar and he just rolled exceptionally well,
Yeah.
and so it's like even with that, it was still a dice game, and he just happened to get pretty lucky on that, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to echo that. I don't know that there's anything that I said, boy, when Fracture's out, this army's not going to be a problem anymore. Now, I did say when Fracture's out, this army's going to be more of a problem. And because it's funny, while we were traveling, so we were playing in Best of the Rest while Masters was going on in the
Mm.
US. Okay? While we were traveling and on the road, it is great when somebody's driving and the other person can be your personal audiobook and read to you things. So we were actually reading Fracture. I say we. He was reading Fracture to me as we were driving up there, and some of the things that we found while we were kind of exploring just for fun is like this makes forces of nature, I think, even more of a big army. And ogres. I think some of the cool hero guys that came out with the ogres. That's pretty neat. That's some pretty neat stuff there. Oh dear, I'm so glad we're not playing because there was a lot of ogre players in Best of the Rest.
Because
I'm so glad that this is not fractured ogres. I would have lost even worse. So, but yeah, it was. I don't think that there's anything. I'm like, man, I hope Fracture fixes it. And there's nothing really in arrogance that I'm hoping for either. I'm not hoping that arrogance fixes anything. I think adding some nuances to the armies, adding some fun to the armies. That's the part I'm looking forward to on those things.
Yeah, I think the one thing usually struggling with the games is when there's only one list for each faction that is like playable under things. So as soon as you have multiple lists, it's like which things gonna nerf, things are just moving around instead of you have that one list that need to be gone and things like that. So people like there's definitely a continental difference in here because there are lists that I hear bad stories from the US and things like that, and then never see someone like this in person or play against this one. And
okay, like what? Hold on, I love this. What's some of the differences you heard? This is
like,
great. More, tell me more.
I have in all I played in fourth edition now, I haven't encountered a single unit of wretches.
that's weird.
Oh yeah, okay, got it.
That's like nobody has done that here. So just even if and then the goblin list I played when I had first walking to a tournament, and then it's out. Okay, I get goblins as an opponent, and then I expected the worst, and then it was like a cavalry list with a lot of, I think, sniffs and mincers and like that one, and not those rebel regiment spam or a lot of war machines like so something completely different out. And it was still a hard game, like, because goblins are a lot no matter what they put on the table. It's like, but this is like a very different experience in there. And I think we had also seen this. So this was third edition when I went to the first time. I think it was the first time I went to Clash of Kings UK, and then there was this big thing coming from the US that halflings are the worst army. They need to be buffed because they cannot compete anything. And then the Polish guy won Clash of Kings with halflings. It's like, yeah, it's we play a little bit. It's
Well, and looking at a book is very, very different than playing an army. That is something I have found with Kings. I will look at a book. I will list build, and I'm bad at it. That's why I make him do all my lists now. But I'll list build going, this is going to be awesome. And then I hit it, then it hits the table. And just like any general's plans, they fall
Yeah.
apart the minute battle starts. So, yeah, I think, I think you do have to see some of that stuff in play in order to go, oh, that's why that didn't work.
Yeah.
And this is probably why I am a fan of some of the smaller game sizes. Like one, I think we've been playing a little bit more of 1,200 point games just to try out this portion of an army to see will that even work in a larger army. So you almost get the focus on maybe a few units, a few types of things. Oh, hey, shooting doesn't work too well in this army, but I didn't have to play a full game to find that out. I could just
Yeah.
go ahead and lose at 1,200 points quicker. And then they'll fail fast, really, in front of
Yeah.
friends. That's the important part. But
I mean, one part is also that army lists always don't, just because they are good doesn't mean they are working for you. Because I also know I'm a very, how to say, not very thoughtful but aggressive player. So an army that needs to be played carefully on a defensive way, I just can't do that. So it might be the perfect list, but if I need to play that one, I will lose horribly just because I can't be defensive and patient and things like that.
so I'm hearing you want to play ogres. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You just want to run in and fight. Okay, got it.
Yeah. I actually have an ogre army on the table to build and paint. I'm just not. I've paused that one for reasons. How to say? I hoped for plastic berserkers to come up, so I just said I started ogres, started to think, and then I say, okay, ogres are in the next book, and I said, let's pause this and wait depending on what new models are coming up. So that's why I've then switched to Abyss. Let's see how this one works. By now I have lost all game but one with Abyss for now, but I'm trying to figure out how things work for me. It's just because the units I wanted to play how to say, being defensive and careful, it just didn't work. So I need to switch units around that work better for me. So, but berserkers are neat, so they're like my style of unit.
Yes, yeah. Berserkers would definitely a berserker spam. Here's your prescription. I recommend 2 berserker spams and a Cronius, please.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you read the article that was on Mantic, written by good old Mr. Josh LaFoon about the Abyss and how they were going through and what they were trying to do with that army?
Yeah, I've read that one. It's a nice article. So, dear listener, Mantic has started to put out articles for Fracture written by the core playtesting groups. So please read those, because there are some interesting how to say, ideas on why they changed things and what was the going on at this. So this is always a nice read on those. And I have to say the most interesting change for Abyss for me in Fracture is the Dark Bit, because this is like the unique spell they have. It's a nice one. It's also very balanced to a point. I have to say this, because you have it adds Dread and Cloak of Death as a spell within 12 inch, and you have other units that could add that too. So it really removes the pressure on taking those units just if you want that one rule. So you can have this the other ways around. And I have, even though it was terrible and I lost the games, I had a lot of fun with doing an Ifrit, because this is now a spellcaster, put a Dark Bit on it and has zooming around with that one.
Yeah.
So it's
well, and it's one spellcaster versus entire units that may have to have that. So
yeah,
totally worth it. Totally worth it.
I don't think that it helped in any of my games, really, but it just was a lot of fun to have that option without needing to take a Croneus or needing to take the Bloody Cardinal to get access to those things. And it also, if you already want to take those units, the spell might not be for you, because it only works once. So there's no multiples of Dread working if you if you overlap things. So this is like so. Those are some nice changes, and how to say, there's people expecting Abyss to be stronger because they have a lot of bad units that can block people out with the new command orders. So this might be something in future, but then I'm not, how to say, too defensive to pull that off. So having those just blocking others out is not my style of playing. That won't work for me at all. It's like I need something more aggressive.
Now I totally want to play you. Now let's go.
Yeah. It's maybe. So, dear listener, if anyone ever wants to see me playing or something, we're going to do Clash of Kings UK this year again. So MUP will be there. We will may or may not make some interviews and give us battle reports back if everything works out. So this is like, so mostly something for the UK players, I guess. And
yeah. I don't know that I could drive there. I'm sorry, man.
yeah, it's not. The strait is not frozen yet or something like that. You can try to get over Greenland. That doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to fly with my army. That's just weird.
That's yeah. That one was a weird thing for me too. So traveling with the armies is always things. It's also why I prefer Kings of War for international gaming, because it's much easier to stack those regiments somewhere safe than doing this with individual models. Like, it's simply just so much less to worry, much easier. And I have a carry case that has this hand luggage size.
Ooh,
So I just can, that's a cool one. And while I can only fit one army of the skirmish games in there, like the other games, it fits 2 Kings of War armies. Because regiments are simply just compact, so, and you have the infantry size so small, so you can really stack stuff with the magnets in there. So we like when I travel with my son internationally, we do so, we get 2, usually you have those 2 free hand luggage things, and then in one all our clothes and stuff goes, and the other one is used for our armies, and that's like...
That's right. You know what? It should all be armies. You don't need your underwear the next day. Just check that in. If it gets lost, it gets lost. At least you can play. That's the important part here.
I mean, the safe part doing it that way is that you don't go and buy a lot if you are underway. So it's like, oh, this one looks nice. Can we buy that? Yeah, we could, but we don't have place to stock that one into the plane. Just it's
we don't have room.
No mega army on the way back home. Sorry.
Yeah, that is the benefit of driving everywhere, I will say.
Yeah, but this is like, I hesitate because in the past, traveling with armies was always a hassle. Like, I am old enough that I played Warhammer Fantasy, like 6th and 7th edition tournaments back in the days, and this was just exhausting to get your army from place A to B. Even if it's in the car, it was really just like, driving in a group, the one with the biggest car had to go because it's like you needed not 1 bag but 2 or 3 depending on the army you played, especially with the very large models and things like that. And Kings is a lot more, I would say, casual gamer friendly in that way too. So it's easy to travel, easy to set up, and easy to go around. So this is something I really appreciate after the years.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah. So, for the gaming, you said you travel a lot with tournaments and events. How is this going actually in the US? Because I know in Europe, driving around is always a little bit, so how to say, people hesitate a little more when driving. So if something is 2 hours away and then you have to say, oh, we're driving 4 hours a day, so let's take a hotel, or a single day event isn't worth it when you have to drive for 4 hours and things like that. So it's I think the mobility in the US is a little bit different there.
Yes, it is. I don't know what's okay. So how far are you willing to drive? Have me drive? Let's face it. For tournaments.
I'd
Like
say reasonable, probably 8-ish hours. We probably pushed it pretty close to the max when we went to Minnesota for the Masters, but probably 8, maybe 9 hours for a 2 day.
yeah,
One day, I think
Mm.
we do maybe max like 3-4 hours for a one day at
yeah,
the most. But I mean, for us, a lot of times we hit a highway and it's just most of the time down that highway 90% of the time because a lot,
Mm.
especially here in the Midwest, a lot of it is just either like long 2-lane roads and just nothing but like cornfields and stuff. So there's nothing else, or it's 4-lane highways
yeah.
all the way down. So it makes it a little bit easier because it's just like when we went to Minnesota, we just
We just went
hit
north.
a highway and
Which
went straight up north, basically 8 hours, and we were there.
yeah,
So
and so geography wise, we're in Missouri. We go through Iowa into Minnesota, and it's what it was like eight. I think we stopped for lunch, and it was 8 9 hours, but it was a 2 day event. And when we decided to finally come home, it was after a good night's rest. So usually it is a drive day, to play 2 days, drive back home day, and then you take a day off so you can go ahead and do laundry and rest because you did not rest the entire weekend that you were playing games, which is really kind of fun. But no, U.S. is very very conducive to driving around, and the community really does travel a lot. Matter of fact, we're having a tournament in St. Louis. It is a 1 day tournament coming up at the
Mm.
end, round around the end of August, and I already have lists submitted from 3 Ohio people, 2 people from Indiana, 2 people from Wisconsin, at least one Kansas City person, and then our local St. Louis folks. So the community is willing to travel to play in some of these, even a 1 day. And most of that, like the Wisconsin and stuff like that, those are probably what 6 hours away. Ohio's
Mm.
probably 5 6 hours.
Ohio's about 5 hours.
But mind you, we're all going to play on Saturday, and a lot of them are staying on Sunday. Some of them are going to go film at Miniworx, I think. Some of them are just going to go back to the store and play. So you end up kind of accidentally having a 2 day anyhow, or maybe a day and a half. But yeah, very very, very travel friendly, and that is one of the pros of the community as well. The Ohio boys who are coming up, they actually said they're making fun lists to come and play, which I'm okay
Yeah.
with because like one of them is did he get second at Masters?
Yeah,
You know,
second.
he's no slouch. So thanks for not coming to my town and wrecking all of us. That's very kind of
Yeah.
you, especially with a growing community. So yeah, it's a traveling's really easy, really fun, and totally worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, play at your local clubs, but go travel because this is such a fun community, and you're going to get lots of hugs and
Mm.
hangouts in the hotel lobby after you've played your 3 to 4 games or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's also worth to look out for travel buddies because if there's a tournament somewhere around, it might be that someone else is driving by or can pick you up somewhere. So
Yeah.
making things easier. Like I have.
Was it North Atlantic that had a bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, the North Atlantic. So in Masters, in the U.S. Masters, I don't know how it works around the U.K. area or even Europe, but there's 8 different regions of the United States. Those 8 regions take the 8 best players, and they get invited to the Masters. So you have a 64-person tournament guaranteed, and then anybody else who wants to hang out, and usually the host town is inviting all their locals, play in the best of the rest or whatever the
Yeah.
tournament is around there. And so the I think it was Mid Atlantic or North Atlantic. Anyhow, one of them, they basically got a huge bus and just picked everybody up along the way and then drove, halfway
Yeah.
across the country to hang out. Which if there's a countercharge episode that is really funny about some of their tales, and the short guy is hanging out in the back end of the bus and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. It's the travel buddies, the groups, the people that you play with.
Mm.
You will find a lot of times, yeah, you're willing to go ahead and do those things, and those are the stories that you're going to remember. Those are the
Yeah.
people that you're going to be giving hugs when you see them at Adepticon. and you're really happy to play and often lose or win or just continue your personal lore with them later on.
Yeah. So I think this is also, I think this is the one feature I miss the most from the Mantic companion with looking at events, is to have no option for searching for travel buddies. So this would be nice to have, just not just the map or a link where the event is, but having like a list either somewhere that I can check for people that are from a similar region on contact them on how to drive, or even to just have a small link or a checkbox there with saying I'm traveling there by car, I can pick someone up, and this is then listed somewhere as so for people to contact me or to contact others just to check out, because this would things make much more easier and, or how to say, more social.
I just want more events listed in the companion. I know that they're out there. This I'm sorry. I'm going to get on a rant here. So there are so many great events at Masters and Best of the Rest. There was an entire page of all these upcoming events and tournaments and things that were happening in Kings of War in the United States. There is 2 of them listed on the events in the Mantic companion. And I know it might be a bummer, but this is the company's site. Go ahead and put your events in, guys. You don't have to run the tournament there. That's fine. I'm going to, because I want to see if I can break the system. But, just put the events in there. That way it's easy to know. Otherwise, you really do have to know somebody who's going to an event, or you had to get that cool piece of paper. But even that cool piece of paper doesn't give you the address or the link to register all the time. So it's, I will say, yeah, I'm okay with having a checkbox there, but for the love of goodness sake, please go ahead and put the events in there so we can have a checkbox option.
Yeah, so this is like a hen or egg problem, because it's like the companion doesn't improve because nobody uses it, and nobody uses it because it doesn't improve a lot. But it's even if you don't really use it, as when new people are looking out, want to check what's going on there, what is available in your region, of course they will check the Mantic's own website and stuff for things, and not because how to say, the very new gamers, really those are new to wargaming, they don't know about all the other side, what's available, what is there to check, what to use, how to find people. So of course it's the manufacturer's website on things, and if an event isn't listed there, so even if there's a link to a different website on there that you need to use to register and things like that, just have it advertised there already helps a lot to get new people to look into your events, your regions, your games, and that someone else is there. This is
and they've done it with Halo. They've done it with Halo, and mind you, and Halo is very board gaming, new gamer friendly. I've gotten more people as a Mantic Pathfinder to buy and play and show up to Halo tournaments or events, or just like we had a charity event. Absolutely wonderful. You pay tickets to get stupid things that happen in the game. But they will never, they're like, oh, my models are already assembled. And some of them show up unpainted, and that's fine. But if you look at that Halo index, it is filled with events going on all the time. And it's part of it is that's your official ranking. Part of it is Mantic has also said, well, the winner in the world gets his own head on a miniature. I mean, so I would love, even if it's not running your tournament through it. I get it. They figured it out for Halo. The Halo tournament stuff worked great, I think. I haven't heard too many complaints about that. But it may be some incentivizing to get events on companion, or hey, maybe if there is something where you get a model with your head on it, or Ronnie comes to your house and shakes your hand, or something like that. I don't know, something.
So I'm not sure if this is a good advertising or something to scare people off, and they say Ronnie will stand in your front door.
I can just, hello, I'm Ronnie. I mean, yeah, no, that might be bad. That might be bad. You're right. So, we should have somebody else.
Yeah, maybe. So it's like, I mean, we could get, I hope some of the improvements from Halo will move over to the companion. So I think this is a big plan on there, testing things out with Halos, check how things work, how is it received, because that community is different. It is really a lot of new people playing games, coming over from board games or from a non-wargaming background. So they have different things they need compared to those old school wargamers playing Kings. So testing with them is an obvious choice, just to check what people really need who don't know anything. And I hope they port things over then when things are worked out into Kings of War as well, just to see how
So
we get in there. So
they've made some really good small changes, and it like they used to have PDFs for your tournaments. For my St. Louis tournament, I now do have PDFs of every single army list that I can pull up, which is nice, and I can export them all. I know that was a complaint, and I was fiddling around with a couple little things for our upcoming tournament, just to play around with some stuff. And there's been some really good incremental things. Like they fixed one of the things I really wanted, which is, and maybe it was always fixed, maybe it was a user error. That's fine. But they had it to where I could put, let's say Tuesday is your last day that you can submit your list, but our tournament is on Saturday. I can now reopen my tournament submission. So if somebody shows up at the last minute before we actually start game one, I can actually add them in, which is really kind of cool. So
yeah,
they've made some small improvements, and there's some things in the army list builder for the Mantic side. I guess for the Mantic IP side that
yeah.
hasn't made it over to Halo yet, and that's folders for your army
Mm.
lists. Really, really cool.
Yeah, that's like, ooh, uh, folders were added quietly, kind of. So there's no. So for the dear listener, those who haven't seen it, in the Kings of War companion app, in the list building, you now can create folders and move different armies into different folders for better sorting, which I really appreciate. I think it's my most liked feature at the moment. It makes things so much easier. And of course, if you only have two lists to build and don't want more, it's pointless. But this is like for people like me who is doing like a lot of
I'll say,
planning and things like that. It's
how many you got? How many lists you got?
at the moment I have reduced. I have deleted a lot the last week because I've now settled with what abyss units I want to paint until Clash of Kings. So I have reduced, I think, from 30 different abyss lists down to 10. Because I also tend to not just so plan, to do different units around, different things, artifacts, and then I also have my painting plan on the companion as a list. So these are the units I now want to build. These are the units I want to paint, and then I start like
Oh, that's
deleting units from
cool.
the list when I finish them. And this is
That I never thought about that. That's cool. I'm stealing that. How many you got?
Um, Currently, I have 68 lists for I think 14 factions, but I don't own
yeah,
all of them. I own, well, combined, we own 6 factions between our family, and I
yeah,
have of the factions I play, I have 34 lists built for the 3 factions. I play EOD, Goblins, and Twilight Kin, and so and a lot of it is like you said, a lot of the lists they're pretty similar. They change magic artifacts or they change spells on wizards, and then some of them are just like crazy lists of what happens if you just do nothing but shooting for EOD and just bring 4 hordes of Deadeye crossbowmen type of lists. They're just some of them are just funny
nope,
lists of like this is never gonna really work, but it's gonna be a blast to play, and it's gonna lose really quickly so I can get it over with.
yeah,
But I'll have a fun time. So I think in terms of lists I actually use, I probably have like 15 for the 3 factions. I usually have
mm,
couple for 1,000, couple for 1,200, and then a bunch of them at 2,000 and
yeah,
2,300 because that's what tournament play is 2,300, and then our tournament and casual players play at 2,000 because a lot of them started with our slow grow, and so a lot of them just have
mm,
slow grow armies at 2K. So I mean, I have.
So I'm just now imagine your folder structure being definitely play, maybe play, crazy. Do not open there be dragons.
Yes.
I'm gonna rename them now just to do that. Now I have them listed by faction right now, but now I'm gonna do that.
No, definitely play.
Yeah,
Well, what goes in there? There be dragons list.
don't worry,
Don't worry about it.
it's fine.
Yeah.
The like quad giant EODs or something crazy, like something so absurd that I will probably never own enough or play it at all because it's just this isn't gonna work, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So,
Reminding yourself why you don't want to buy that unit. So you put it on the list that you never
that's
want
right.
to play it.
Yeah. That's where the 6 horde Deadeye crossbow list goes. I don't want to play this.
No. Matthias, you asked me a really great question of like, what are there any armies, or are there anything that you're looking forward to with some of the new releases? How about you? Are you looking forward to anything either being fixed or broken in Arrogance that's coming up, or did you find anything that was fixed or broken in Fracture? I'm kind of curious, especially with the UK scene, because it's very, guys. I keep hearing Europe and US are very, very different scenes. So
I'm not knowing much about the UK scene, but here in Central Europe, we were looking more or less forward to having, how to say, people looked, or we don't have anything broken around me. So like people don't tend to play. So nobody is going in there and playing a certain amount or painting a certain amount of units just to play them once or twice because they know that's not gonna last very long. So we just don't do that thing here. So it's not that nobody is crazy enough to paint 14 rebel regiments just to. He may improvise that one with empty bases and say, yeah, let's play that one. Don't like it, never play that one again. But nobody's going really to get painting them on things. So what I'm most looking forward to Arrogance is having, because there's a Clash of Kings style update announced or teasered, to check into what everyone else gets, so that we get like all armies risen to another level, or to make them how to say, we got teasered a little bit in Fracture how the style of list building goes in future, and I'm really looking forward to see this one for all armies in general. Just like to see if there are lords or warlords moving units around, or if champions unlock a single unit to move in slots and things like that. So this is the one thing I'm really looking around to for Arrogance as the big buff for the units. For the nerfs, may or may not see something about spamming in that regard, or if this is, but it's not a big issue for me. It's just something I don't, as a casual and narrative gamer, doesn't really like to see or play against. It's not that those. It's not often to be the strongest option, but the most boring to play against. Let's put it that way. So this is something. So it's not something that I see. It's I wish they nerfed that one because that's need to go. But this is just something. Make people aware that this isn't the most exciting way to play Kings of War, and something else should be. So if this framing is the one.
how many rabble should you not take in the Travis Chin list? I'm sorry.
Travis, he had 14.
Yeah.
I've gotten up to 9, and I'm already like, I don't like moving around. Like my turn 1 takes like 25 minutes right now because I don't like moving 9 regiments of rabble. So we're working. I'm gonna make it more elite, but yeah, I agree with you. The spams, even as a newer goblin player, I might shoot myself in the foot with this, but I don't really like it because it just, even as a player of the spam, it's so boring to just walk up 14 units that do the same thing and just walk them all up the field. I like the okay, this unit does this thing and this unit is completely different. Like EOD, it's fun because almost every single one of my units is completely different. I very rarely have
Yeah.
duplicates in that army, and that's fun because it's like, okay, everything does its own thing, and now my job as the pilot is supposed to make it all work together,
Yeah.
and it rarely
Mm.
does right now. But we're getting better at that. But
Yeah.
with the spam list, it's like, okay, everything does the same thing. I'm just gonna walk it up the field, and like I don't have to play the first 2 rounds of the game. It feels like because I'm just walking 14
It
units
just
up the field, and then round
everything's
3 is when I
straightforward and
actually decide, okay, what do I want to do? So it's like I only start playing in round 3,
Yeah.
and my opponent meanwhile is scrambling from round 1, and so it's just it's not that it's not a fun time, but it's definitely one of the more boring beginnings to every Kings game I've played.
I
Say
mean,
that, and I've lost every game, but that's okay.
it's,
That's just because I don't know how to
Wait,
play that army.
you whooped me yesterday. Shush.
Well, that was 1,200 points, though. That doesn't really count.
that still counts. All
That
games
still
count.
counts.
Yeah, I mean it's
Fair enough.
also I feel even if you take when you really spam goblins and you have like I take four regiments and 4 hordes, it already feels different than just taking all regiments. It's
Yeah.
I mean
Well,
I mean
go ahead.
so sorry, but this is just I wanted to say that the reason, like you said, with your EOD, when you only have no duplicates in your army list, this is what I currently struggle with the Abyss because I have the feeling that Berserkers might suit me best from all units, but I hesitate to play more than one. So this is like I have put Abyssal Horsemen in just because I don't want to play a second unit of Berserkers. This is just like it's
Embrace the Berserker spam.
yeah.
Embrace it. You will enjoy it. No, and I do kind of wonder with them unlocking a few more hordes inside with Fracture if that helps that any, or if now we're just going to see horde spams, which I don't think so because they just take up so much room on a table.
Yeah.
Um,
I avoid taking hordes because they take up room. I'm not like one that's find these things easy to play, while others really like the horde unit. So I think we may see there a little shift depending on what the players like or not, but I don't see this as a big problem because people a horde is for some people harder to play than a regiment. Others like that way it goes, so I think it will even things out. But I'm going to be surprised from people. Like I have played once against someone who take the in third edition this Chariot Legion, so this really large unit base of chariots, and he really struggled to play that unit because it was standing for half the game in the middle of the table because he wasn't sure where or how to move it. Like this, it was just sitting there and waiting for that one charge to take things off. It's like, yeah. So nah, not my style of playing. This is like I can't do something like that. I would have moved that one in the wrong direction in the very first turn already and just like losing it the second or something like that. So this is
right. You're just running up there. That's
yeah. I'm embracing multiple small units. That works for me because I can lose one without being on a downside already. At the same time, I don't like duplicates and things. So multiple small units of different kinds. So like 2 of the same and then multiples of it so that I have my exit plan if you could get that way, so that I lose one unit and I still have another one, but I have other units doing different tasks, so that I need to think which one is thing like that. So I have so more straightforward for me. This unit needs to do that, this unit needs to do that, and always a backup unit as a second one just to
right. Just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
I've been playing lots with Northern Alliance. That is probably my army that is built. Yeah. Let's just say that's the army I'm taking to every tournament because that's all the toys I have. You might like them because they are very. You get these dwarves on birds, which do one thing. You get these these human tribesmen, which do another thing. You get the pack hunters, which do
Mm.
kind of okay things. Um, yeah, but each one of them has such a different role, and it is a mental challenge to make sure that you play it correctly. I have a
Mm.
problem with turn 7 because I just don't last that long. I'm like,
We
I am good at turn 5. I might even be winning the game. Turn 6, I might be holding on for dear life. And the minute that die goes to a
yeah
4, 5, or 6, I just shake my opponent's hand because I lose every turn 7 I play.
yeah.
But
So we
the
all
army's
struggle with
really
turn
fun.
7.
I
Yeah,
do,
no,
I do. It is a curse. It is a curse for
it
me.
is a curse.
But
Yeah.
but I do enjoy playing that Northern Alliance army because each of those units has a different feel, has a different vibe, and a different job on the battlefield. And I will say I point to him a lot because he builds lists better than I do. He built this really good list, and I'm like, oh, that's how I should play these things. So they're really fun. So if you like different things, folks, here is your blatant ad for Play Northern Alliance. They have
Mm.
dwarves and elves.
So I'm okay. This brings us to the next thing about the future upgrades, because what I'm really looking forward to in general is that we get new models with the books. So elves are being, so the one thing I'm really looking forward to are new elves. And not just because I already have a 2K or more like two 2Ks, so some in the 4K round, classic
Give or take.
Mantic elves. It depends. It's um yeah. So I have my classic Mantic elves. I not the best elves model around, as most people have seen by now, but I like them for, how to say, they offer a certain flexibility in their build that I haven't seen from other ranges yet. And this is like that you can really make those spear a phalanx type. So I've seen most people just put their spear tall spears in a, how to say, in a chaotic way into the regiment. But if you sort that thing out before, you can really make a coordinated phalanx that is really just this attacking in the classic ancient Greek way, and I haven't seen any other elves on the market do it that thing. And I like this, like the overhead spear throw in a
Yeah.
regiment. And so, and that's why I like those. That's why I play a lot of tall spears, because this is the phalanx that I imagine, even if it isn't good. And going into diorama building, the elves are small enough that you can, how to say, sneak some other models in between. So when I played like tall spears a lot in second edition, in third I switched to Sea Guard by just putting some archers in the last rank in between. So they
That's
are
too
Sea
funny.
Guard now, so that works for me. So yeah, but as we got teased that there will be a model upgrade, I'm really looking forward to what Mantic's coming up with elves, because I really like what they have done with the Twilight Kin. So that army, from a style point or design point, works for me. And if they do something similar with elves, it's like keeping that Slenderman optic, but in a more disciplined way, and this one worked for me. And of course, there's also dwarves coming at one point. So, and then you
What?
get the
Nobody at Mantic likes dwarves. What are you talking about?
yeah. Nobody would ever think about new dwarves getting in this.
Nah,
So
pshaw, sir, pshaw.
yeah, but this is like when you talk Northern Alliance, because they have elf, dwarves, humans in there, they will be a nicely superb army once those the dwarf and elf models might be updated, because maybe we are seeing something then for Northern Alliance to get the indefinite bit. That saying me, who has some Raven Riders over there and some of the half berserkers in a box underneath the table. So it's
Yes. Oh, you will enjoy the Raven Riders if you have not
yeah.
already built and painted them. Those are fun.
I mean, I have to say I bought them for different reasons, but this is like What?
I understand now. You just wanted to make like demon birds. Got it for your
Nope.
abyss. Understood.
Phoenixes for Basilea.
Yep,
Because I thought
that'll
about the
work.
birds, because like I'm doing traveling in a plane and this is that one large chunky resin phoenix I don't want to put in there because it's big, it's heavy, it's taking a lot of space. I don't want to do it damage. Oh, the ambush books for Northern Alliance look cheap, so just 2 birds in there. Just bought that one, put 2 birds on a Titanic base. So they are my travel phoenixes. Like, so when I play proper at home, I have the proper resin one, traveling, the plastic one. So this.
I love it. I love it. Perfect. Perfect. I'm a fan of kit bashing, especially now that I've done some dioramas. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do more of those.
Yeah, right. So we are soon hitting 1.5 hours, which is a good timing. So I think how is our, let's call it, mid first year update? So are we in general happy with Kings of War, and or do you see something, or how is the community happy about it, like around you guys? So is there a lot of negativity, a lot of new people leaving, coming, going? How are things going in general?
Well, I think for me personally, I think I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's been a really fun time. We in the community, we really started with Fourth reaching out into the St. Louis community because there was basically there was nobody really playing, and so with Fourth, we've actually gotten up to um, anywhere from like 4 to 6 people come out to play. I think we had 5 yesterday.
Yeah, we had 5 yesterday.
Come out to play, and there's some like my dad and I here. We are always there up there on like every other weekend playing on Saturdays, but other than that, we get a pretty healthy rotation of people. So I'd say we've probably grown it to I think about 8-ish people right now.
Easy.
For showing up to tournaments and stuff. And so in terms of we're still growing, we're still reaching out. I mean, like you said, we've got a bunch of out of towners coming here to St. Louis. Hopefully, that'll help draw out more of the St. Louis folk. But I think overall, I enjoy it. I think our community is really enjoying it right now. I mean, and hopefully we're growing, and I hope it doesn't really stop anytime soon because I'd love to get a lot more people into Kings. But yeah, I think community wise, we all there's probably, I mean, I'm sure if we ask them, there's probably some little changes that they would want to make, but overall rules and everything, they're pretty happy. We're all pretty casual. Well, yeah, our community is all pretty casual, so it's not like you're not seeing a lot of the competitive armies. And so because of that, we're not really have a whole lot of feedback in terms of this is broken, this isn't. But sometimes there are some rule stuff that it's like, okay, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that could be the certain situation that these guys were in. But a lot of the time, it's mostly positive reviews at Kings, and yeah, and I mean, I enjoy it as well. I'm sure if I went through the rule book and actually read it, there'd probably be some stuff that I'd find.
You don't read the rule book?
No.
Who reads the rule books? It's you never read the rules. It's just you figure it out on the way.
Figure it out on your own. You know, you just play enough games and you'll eventually learn all the rules.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
I mean that's a joke going around for a long time now about Kings, that 90% of the question asked online could be solved by just reading the rules. It's or reading the book, because they are, oh, I'm at page 20, I have a question, I post that online, and somebody replies, yeah, reach to page 26 and it's solved. It's like
yeah. That is not only a King's problem. That is a life problem. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why there's ID10T errors in life and stuff like that. So I will echo the overall, yes, Kings is in a really good place, I think, with its core rules. I think that is pretty unanimous. There's a couple little things that that are situational that you're like, really? That's how that works? Well, fine. I accept it because the rest of the rules are really good and fun. Um,
Mm.
and I think the one of them is the you can see me over this hill, but you can't see the face that you're going to charge. So you still get a side charge even though you see the front of you over the hill. That's a very situational, silly little
Yeah.
thing. But I mean that's probably the only one that's been like a weird feel bad. Um, but as far as community goes, well, here yesterday's a really good example. So Henry and I were up at the store. Um, there were three other players that had shown up. One of them was a conquest player, and he said, "I see you guys playing kings all the time. I will go ahead and buy some kings." And he refuses to borrow anybody's army. We played with him in the St. Louis area in other games as well. So he's a really good guy, and he's like, you know what, I enjoy seeing my army on the battlefield, so I will buy in, I will invest, I will finally build an army, and I will play with you guys because you have a scene that's growing. So that was one player, is a conquest player who basically bought in, painted, and I think his is his second or third game yesterday. Another one was not. He drove from Illinois, if I remember correctly, which basically he almost drove like it was a 90-minute hike or something for him just to come out and play, a game, maybe two. And he brought his daughter, and she was fantastic. We hung out with her, and she rolled dice with us and everything. So one conquest player, one person willing to drive 90 minutes, and then he and I, and then another player that actually runs BattleTech at our local scene. And he loves playing kings, and he has a halfling army that he has done fantastic stuff with. So overall, the community's good, especially around us. I think there are some pockets of the United States that have kind of fallen off. And I'm a comic book guy. I mean, I wear Superman shirts a lot, right? So much like when there's a brand new issue number one, some people looked at it as a jumping on spot, and some people look at it as a jumping off spot. Fourth edition was just like a brand new issue number one for folks. But for the most part, I think there are pockets in like Ohio and St. Louis and a couple here and there that you hear about online where we've grown, we're growing, we keep growing because this is a good issue number one. So fourth edition, I think, is in a really good spot. And I think as people get their armies, get the spotlight, they're going to feel a cool magical moment too. Or if they get a really neat model that'll jump into their army that they already have, they're going to feel really good. The downside, the only thing I've heard that is not great, is it is a commitment to get an army created.
Yeah.
I wish I know this is not very Mantic-y or Kings of War-y, but I almost wish that there was a starter set that just had cardboard cutouts like they do the terrain in Halo. That is your army. Here's a base, and here's a little picture of a thing that stands in there, and that is your goblin base, just to get people to play this game. Let them play with cardboard, just like I dare say BattleTech does. Maybe with one or two resin models in the box, and because it's such a good game, let them play it, let them feel it, let them have fun with it, and then go ahead and say, hey, replace that really cool goblin rabble that you got, that regiment that's a cardboard regiment, replace it with some really neat models, because they have some great models and it's a fun extra side of the hobby. But boy, oh boy, if you can just get people to play this game and not balk at, I'm going to take how long to do this, that would be a really big win. And it's part of the success of Halo, quite frankly.
I mean, how long it takes, it really depends on what people doing. I have seen like people doing an army in 2 weekends. Like it happens. Like take the first weekend to build everything and the second weekend to paint everything, which is, I think, possible if you really committed to doing 2 days full of work with nothing else. It's usually when you just have every day an hour to work on, it gets then those two times 12 hours, and you only have an hour a day, then those would be 12 to 24 days. So if you really have a weekend off, you can do a lot if you're committed, especially if you're going with speed paints and things like that, and quick painting on things. So there are possibilities. On the other side, the idea of having cardboard armies isn't actually a bad one. I think this could be something for Mantic, like having an official card set to put on there, so to buy as a cheap introduction to Kings of War.
Oh man. I mean, I just saw yesterday the one-page rules 2-player starter set where all the models were put together, and it was $120. And there was a lot of people picking up that box going, wow, I can get into a game and I don't have to build anything. And I mean, that's part of the draw. Well, StarCraft, you have to build some of that stuff. But I mean, there is something there. And it's we've seen success with Halo because everything is put together for the most part. Go ahead and do something like that for Kings of War, and do it to where I don't have to paint 2,000 points, or even go do 1,000 points. It's fine. 1,000 points of cardboard armies, great. Just sell the heck out of it, and allow it in a tournament just because they can.
I mean, I think
hit me up, Ronnie. I got ideas, bro. I got you.
No, I would just say that the only time I've really seen those paper armies is in the very classic Napoleonic wargaming.
Yeah.
Because there you really got to buy books with cut-out papers you can put in as rank and file game to play the different armies and things like that. So this is something really the only wargaming site where I've seen this being embraced, where you really can buy those things, not just print things out yourself. So there's Battletech that has this cardboard stat-ins in the starter set that you really have no commitment at all, just like I think they're 20 euros or 15 euros, $20, something like that, and then you get this very cheap ones. And then Napoleonic Wargames, when said, yeah, you need a lot and you don't want to paint it and it's all colorful, and here you buy that book, it's a printout, it's an army in a book, and cut those, use those cutouts to paint. So this could be something very, we need to get Ronnie on that one, so to me what he thinks about this one. So like to print the army at home is now a different level than there's not just resin and STLs, there's also paper, like going a very classic one. Yeah, but beginning is always a hard thing, but this is also where Champions comes in. So I think this is a good step and say, yeah, Kings of War is a commitment, but there's Champions. You can start small. There are people who like to play that. It's also a fast game, so really like if you're really completely new to wargaming, it's the perfect way to start. If you are already a wargamer and switching over, it might be a little bit too easy, so to say, but still a good way to grow for Kings of War. Like if you're coming over from a skirmish game, so like switching from Halo and you say, oh, I want to be a little bit more fantasy, and then you're going that Champions is the right path to go.
Oh, absolutely. And skirmish games are doing really, really well right now. I mean, while we were playing in the store, I watched so many Kill Team army boxes walk out of the door. And there was even some guys playing Kill Team in the store next to us. I mean, it's skirmish game. Oh, and Marvel Crisis Protocol. I mean, it's all a lot of the things that we see in our local scene is they're playing skirmish games. Occasionally, you'll get a couple of guys doing 40K, and of course, you have us every first and third Saturday playing some Kings of War or Halo, or if I can get somebody to bring their Dead Zone army, Dead Zone. But usually Kings of War these days.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Vanguard is making a comeback to be that something as skirmish for Kings of War. But as I said, it's a more crunchy game, which is, I would see it as an advantage. I think a lot of people don't like it because they expected Dead Zone in fantasy, and then it wasn't. Like, different expectations and it doesn't hit the crowd. It also doesn't really work as an entry to Kings of War because a transition from skirmish to rank and file doesn't work out that way. You either have way too many heroes and not enough troops and things like that. So, and also single basing to diorama basing isn't a good transition in there. So, but then on the other hand, it's, how to say, it would be a nice intro to the Panitor universe, like to all the background, the lore, the heroes from the book, the settings. So this kind of thing works better in a skirmish game on a smaller level. And there are a lot of simple skirmish games out there at the moment. So everyone tries to be the next easy to go, simple skirmish game. And like, what's the reason to play a Dead Zone in fantasy when you already played Dead Zone in for sci-fi, or you play Halo Flashpoint and you don't want to be the very same game in fantasy isn't a thing. So it could be that there's a niche for a more crunchy system. Still need to be like, it needs a second edition, obviously, just to get some streamlining in, some improvements in, to do something with the faction list, to really go like more in dynamic modeling and things like that. But overall, I would say that there might be a niche for Vanguard as a fantasy skirmish. Because there is no crunchy system out there.
Which, and you have, I mean, I don't know if that's because the market won't support a crunchy system or it's hard to get somebody into a crunchy system. Of course, I say that, and I watched how many Kill Team boxes walk out the door. That is not a simple system anymore. The original one might have been, but not anymore. It's I mean, we got done 2 Kings of War games at 1,200 points in the time it took for that one Kill Team game to get over with. That's all I needed to know right there.
That's not, it's not 2017 anymore, where those were the simple intro level skirmish games. So this is also something. But it's like the crunchy system. When someone says play a crunchy sci-fi system, and they say, yeah, there's Infinity, and when they say, oh, I want a crunchy fantasy system, and there's nothing.
Maybe Warcrow,
maybe Warcrow now, but maybe. But that's also like a smaller model count, if I've seen that right. So that there's no the niche that Vanguard had, with you have your 2 or 3 heroes with your 5 to 10 grunt models. So this is this 5 to 12 warband style. So either there are less models or much more. Like in fantasy, I think there's a fantasy version of Saga, but this is also like on the next level of model count already. So I think there's a niche. If Mantic would make a good use of it, different question, but I think it should be embraced to go into that direction.
Well, I mean, what was some of the drops that they had in Master? I mean, your average Kings of War army is
15 drops, 25 unit strength.
So it's 15, right? You got 15 people running on a battlefield at full Kings of War. All right, that's sometimes you have 15 people on a skirmish game, maybe 10. So I mean, it's the same number of people that you're pushing around.
Yeah. So this is like the similar level of complexity, you could say. Just you also have, like in Vanguard, you also had this front and rear thing to go, line of sight with things moving around, and this is like, and which makes it interesting compared to other skirmish that have 360 line of sight and things like that, because it's really just getting a how to say, more RPG-like skirmish. Let's put it that way. So an RPG skirmish game, and not this simple or easygoing skirmish game. So this is like where I see might be. So let's see what the future brings in. Maybe after Death, the last book, and we see something to go into that direction for Kings of War coming.
Oh, that'd be pretty funny if they have. Yeah. Anyhow, we could prognosticate all day long about what's going to happen by the time Death is out.
So I am definitely expecting. I mean, in general, when I see a Kings of War edition lasts so 5 to 6 years, and we are done with the campaign books in 2.5 years or 3 years, if everything is good. So there are 2 more years at least for new armies or new factions to get in.
You know,
Maybe Ophidia.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know that I don't know that we would see a fifth edition. Maybe we will. I kind of there is so much room to just make a tweak here and there,
yeah,
and the core rules of fourth edition are just so good. The only reason that you do a fifth edition is to maybe say, "Hey, here's a brand new issue number one." Right?
yeah. So
It's to get that mental marketing. But
it
wow, I think we'll see like, hey, we don't like the individual rule. Neither do I. Let's go ahead and change that, and then you just change stats for everybody. That's not a new addition. That's just an update. That's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, that's like, how to say, I'm coming from a scientific background, so a new edition is actually what other people call an update for me, because when I buy the scientific books and you say that's the updated and revised new edition, and then it's only a single word changed.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Like, because it's like a 600-page lexica style book, and then they change 2 words because this is how the scientific background or related research changed now, so this is no longer true, so they need to put that outdated, and that's the new edition, and there are not a lot of changes in there. So this is like just an updated book and not really something, a lot of changing things happening. So
Right.
we may see, looking that forward, that we get updated books from time to time, depending on how things change. But this is like
Well,
how
and you
things
got your
go.
Mantic companion, and you got your
Yeah,
Mantic companion. That is just the easiest thing to update. I mean, just how many? What we've got a couple changes to the loot counters and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, not a big deal at all. That's not a big deal. You
yeah,
don't need a new edition, guys. Just stick with fourth edition. Just call it. You
yeah.
know what? Do what D&D promised to do. Just call it Kings of War 1. I'm kidding. Don't do that. That was terrible. That was a terrible
No,
idea.
that was terrible. It's like, no, it's the. I think that the next book we got will be the Gamers Edition. So once the rules are all updated again and things. So I think that's what I personally expect without knowing anything. And the next time I have to talk with Ronnie, I will sneak that idea somewhere to him in blind. That after that, the first thing we get is a Gamers Edition rulebook.
I've actually gotten requests for some like in third edition they had like the half page rule books
Yeah.
that you could hand out. I've gotten more requests for those for fourth edition than anything else. They're like, oh, I really want to see these rules and maybe 2 armies in the background. Yeah, that'd be great. That 100% be great. So I want to see those, and I would pay money to be able to have those to hand out.
Yeah. I mean, you could technically go with the free PDFs from the website and take them to a copy shop to get them printed. So
I could,
like as a
however,
booklet.
and I will probably. So I am a big fan of the Hewlett Packard or HP printing subscription because I can print color copies at like 8.5 cents each
Yeah.
page. So I may print out a couple. I don't know that I want to do 42 pages worth, but
Yeah.
of some kind of rule book. But something that gives the core rules would be really, really, really good.
I mean, I love those A5 booklets in general. So I love them in third edition, and also to hand them out to people when you meet them. Just, oh, what's the game you're playing there? And just to sneak there. So yeah, I have too many of them anyway. So here, take a small rule book, have a quick read.
Or you know
through
what?
it.
Go ahead and just sneak something on the shelf next to Old World. Do you like Old World? Do you hate Old World? Try
Yeah.
this. Here's a free rule.
Yeah. It's just look how thin this rule book is compared to the other.
Right?
It's like,
And then go ahead and include it with a shrink wrap three or four cardstock army things, and now you have an
Yeah,
entire game that you can just put right there on the shelf.
yeah. It could get
Call
those
me,
not
Ronnie.
in.
I got you.
I would also say you could go sneak this into the non wargaming stores, because like those
Yeah.
the board gaming stores who don't stock the war games because they need too much space, too much model and things like that. So you have the small box with just like
Oh,
two
yeah.
books worth of box. One book the rules, the second book are the armies. Just go with
And
it.
then go really crazy. Go ahead and create booster packs that are completely blind booster packs and sell them like magic cards. And now you've accidentally created collectability while you're at it.
Yeah. Then we are on the, and this is a long time ago for me, and I spent so much money on it. It was Pirates of the Spanish Main that have done that kind of
You read my
stuff.
mind. We're due. We're due for that to come right back around. Here we
Yeah.
go. Only just make it Kings of War, baby.
Yeah. But that could maybe work for Vanguard.
There you go. There you go. And a secondary gets created, and then Matthias, you and I go ahead and create a brand new store called Aaron and Austrians, and now we're selling secondary market the games, game pieces.
Yeah. So right. So yeah.
Oh, we've gone way off topic. Go ahead, man.
We are completely off the rails at the moment. So
Yes.
what I and me almost hitting 2 hours, and I have to walk the dog, and so I think
yeah.
we are calling this or going slowly to an end here now. The one thing I wanted to say, well, before that was the how to say, we here have a very dark sense of humor with a lot of sarcasm and anything, and the one sentence that 4th edition Kings of War was described here is by how it was a friend of mine who we played against, who said, you know what's the worst thing about 4th edition? It's still the most fun game to play with. So it's
Yes. I love it.
With all those things going on, but it's still the fun game. So he also said another game he can make. Yeah, I play so many games, but Kings of War is still my favorite one, because it's like, 4th edition hit and the guy's wandering off. So we had some people going, yeah, we don't want to do 4th edition. So many changes, so many things do. The armies don't work. And then they started to play one-page rules, regiments. Some looked into Old World, some looked into Conquest. And by now, all of them have coming back. It lasted like 2 months or something, like looking somewhere else. And then it's like, so like looking into the mechanics of other games and try to figure it out how they play and when the rules don't work. So I also struggle with that one when I want to play other games, and then it's like, say, yeah, when I play Kings of War, this is the same result but much simpler or much easier to going, like half a page saying what to do and I do it, and not 5 pages of complicated things that I don't understand when I first read through, and are still the same end result in move that unit into contact, align in, and be done. It's like you appreciate that easy way of playing things when you really can focus on the game you play and not the rules you need to play. So this is like
that's a good way to put it. When your rules get out of the way of your game, that's when you have a good game.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
We leave this one as a good finishing sentence, and I hope, dear listener, you enjoyed this episode here with Aaron and Henry. And of course, if you have anything to add, leave a comment on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to this podcast. And dear listener, wherever you're listening, I wish you a good morning, day, or night, and goodbye.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right.